Okay, the slice backhand, one of the prettiest shots in the game and a must-have for all players that want to take their game up a notch. I mean, it's used so often today. Think about it. Drop shots, little short angles to pass your opponent coming to the net. You could use it for a lob. You know, there's so many things. You could slice it down the line and spin it away from your opponent. First thing you have to consider is the grip, of course, and you've got to go to the hammer grip. All right, so it's basically like you're grabbing your racket like you would grab a hammer. Now, the good thing about it is, see how my racket's laid back naturally with that hammer grip? But I can go this way also without changing the grip. Now I've got a backhand slice and I've got a forehand slice. So that's the grip you want, the Continental. And here are a few of the fine points that you want to remember. You want to hit your slice low and skidding, knife-like. How do you do that? You have to start higher than the ball. So if this is my contact point here, okay, so that's my contact point, I've got to start higher. And I'm coming down on the ball. So it's a high to low swing, the opposite of topspin. But because, now, if I was swinging down and the racket was vertical, I'd hit the ball in the net. But the racket is not vertical. It's laid back slightly. Now, you can lay the racket back quite a bit. You know, let's say this is vertical. There's 10 degrees, let's say 20 degrees, 30, 45 degrees. But you have to remember, the more that you lay the racket back, the higher you have to start. Because if you're not high enough and that racket is too open, you're going to float your slice backhand. It's going to pop up slightly. You don't want that. You want your slice backhand to stay low and knife-like. So basically, you're starting higher. You're coming down on the ball. You're hitting it with an open face. Now, depending on where I'm hitting it, my finish would change. Okay, if I was trying to hit it deep up the line, I'm going to hit it and drive through it and finish out this way. Now, if I was trying to hit a drop shot, on the other hand, I'm going to come down and I'm going to pull across the ball, okay, to get less depth, more spin, more feel on the shot. So I'm coming across, because I'm hitting a delicate shot now, a drop shot. I've got to clear the net by not too much, and I don't want the ball to land deep beyond, certainly not beyond the service line of my opponent. So, and even closer to the net would be better. And now if I was going, you know, cross court, let's say I'm here and I was going cross court, I'm going to finish out in that direction towards the cross court. If I was hitting a short angle, let's say my opponent is coming to the net and I want to just hit a little short angle cross court, because remember, when your opponent's coming to the net, if you can hit a short angled slice and keep it low, that's going to be a very effective shot. Because the ball's low, what does your opponent have to do? He's got to get down and get that ball up over the net. As soon as you hit that shot, you have to start to move in and be ready for his return. Usually, you can put the return away. So, those are some basics, but the biggest mistake I see is that people lay the racket back too much. It's too much. You could do this, like I said, but you have to start extremely high. So what I tell my students, if they want to get used to having the racket laid back a lot, let's say 45 degrees or 30 degrees or whatever, you have to start higher, and I tell them, try and hit the ball in the net. I want you to try to hit the ball in the middle of the net. That forces them to swing down more. Okay, so swinging down is what you have to get used to. You're not used to that. So you've got to swing down more, but make sure the face is slightly opened. If it's vertical, it's going to go in the net. Open, you're going to clear the net. But you have to find that fine balance of what works for you personally. How open do I need to be to hit a nice slice or to hit a nice drop shot? You have to figure that out. But without a doubt, the racket is open. How much? It all depends on what you're trying to do. How much spin you're trying to get, what kind of shot you're trying to hit. But let me just say this. It's going to be anywhere in that, let's say, 10, 20, 30, 40 degrees laid back. It's going to be in that range. Now, if you're laid back 40, make sure that racket's up. If you're only laid back 10, you don't have to get it as high, but it's still higher than the contact point. That's the key. You've got to be higher than the contact point. So, you know, just think of that racket slightly open when you hit, drive through the shot if you're hitting it deep, come across the shot if you're trying to hit a drop shot, and if you're trying to hit a short angle passing shot, if your opponent's coming to the net, you're going to let the racket go out towards your target, but you've got to have some feel there. You've got to keep it low, because if you get it too high, your opponent's going to come in and crush it. You've got to keep it low to the net, down at his feet when you're hitting that short angle passing shot. Okay, the take back on all of the shots that I'm going to demonstrate is basically the same. That's one thing that's so beautiful about the slice, a high take back. Now as I come down and through the shot, I come across this one a little bit more because I wanted the ball to spin out to the side after the bounce. Another reason why a slice backhand is such a good shot, because of the disguise. The take back is always the same, a high take back, but now I'm going to come down and across as I hit this dropper. So it's clear to see here how the racket has come out to the side more, enabling me to get more spin. And you'll see that the ball bounces quite a few times before it reaches the service line. So that's the idea. Even though I cleared the net by a very safe margin, the ball is not bouncing towards my opponent. Okay, the great disguise of the slice backhand. Racket's coming back high. Notice my left elbow will go up right there. Look at that left elbow raise. Okay, now I'm going to come down and through the shot, and the racket is going out towards the target more when I'm going cross court. okay, when your opponent attacks the net, you can use the slice to hit a little short cross-court angled shot low at his feet. Now notice this ball will land in the service box. Okay, and it's going to be low for him because he's just moving in, which will force him to hit up. And there's a good chance you're going to be able to step in and put that ball away. Well, I hope you enjoyed that lesson. What are the takeaways? Number one, if your slice is floating, get the racket higher. And try my tip of hitting down on the ball so much that you're trying to hit the ball in the net. Purposely trying to hit it in the net, and you're going to start to see the ball get more skid-like, more knife-like, and that's going to work. The other thing, remember, 10 to 40 degrees max. The more you open up, the higher you have to start. So you're swinging down on the ball. Great shot, and the finish on the drop shot is coming more across the ball. The other finish is you're going out towards the target more. Okay, so please post any questions or comments. Check my website. In the description box, I have a lot of courses. The slice backhand is covered in depth. So check those out. And all the best. Happy hitting. Happy slice backhands. Yeah, Ken Rosewall. He started it all for me. When I learned how to play tennis, I was continental grip all the way for everything, like John McEnroe, Stefan Edberg, and Ken Rosewall had one of the best slice backhands of all time. No questions asked. Take care.